Oh, I think we're live. Hi, I'm Willie. I'm going to refresh my my YouTube page and see if I'm live. I think I am. I'm waiting for the stream to come up. Thank you everybody for being here. I have no idea what this looks like. This is the first time I'm streaming by myself from here. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Live now. Let me mute this. We got 15 people watching. We got 3 thumbs up. So I will take questions. Hey everybody, how you doing? So I want to thank everybody who got in on the contest. These contests are a lot of fun. They really are. And you know, one lucky winner is going to get this. Is going to get this net tool. Pouch that goes on your belt. So that's kind of fun. And the other person gets a net tool and that, of course. So here we are. So our YouTube winner. And if the winners don't respond, the last winner didn't respond. If the winner doesn't respond within a week, I'm going to go ahead and recycle it and we'll give it away in another giveaway. But the YouTube giveaway winner is Jeff Harris. Jeff Harris, you won on YouTube. Last name Harris. Harris. And I know what your picture looks like on YouTube. So if you are Jeff, please email me, Willie, at HOWEX5.com. And now, we did the giveaway also on Twitter. And, Twitter handles are sometimes a little different. The winner from Twitter is Masta Moon. Masta Moon, you won on Twitter. Get a hold of me. Willie at HOWEX5.com, and you can send your information over to me, and I will get the net tools and everything, sent out as soon as I can. So I see people commenting here saying I'm the best. I really appreciate that. Jeff Gruber, it was not Jeff Gruber, it was Jeff Harris. Sorry about that. Now, if you didn't win, there's still one more giveaway, but you can also head over to NetTool's website and use Willie15, and they will actually give you 15% off. Now, that 15% off coupon is going to last until after the last giveaway. So if you haven't won yet and you can't wait to see if you're going to win one of the NetTools, head over to their website, use the coupon code Willie15, all one word, and that'll get you 15% off of a net tool. So, hey Jordan, please let me know if you come to Tennessee for doing network setup. I do have someone who can travel to do network installs. Please email me or head on over to h5technology.com, fill out the contact form. So while we're doing this, I'm going to see if it's going to let me edit this so that I can say who won. The, let's see, Jeff Harris was the YouTube winner. Masta Moon was the Twitter winner. And I'm going to save it, and hopefully it doesn't kill the live stream and everything keeps going. I want to get back here. Let's see. Get back to our Q&As here. Go to videos. And uh-oh. I'm not seeing the live stream all of a sudden. So I'm just in the wrong place. Happens occasionally, not all the time. Alright, so hey, Diego from Brazil, I'm doing well, how are you? Edwin Steiner, Willie, I'm setting up some Ubiquity APs. Tell me how to set up my DHCP server. Lost sometimes on this. So, Edwin, can you broaden that question for me a little bit? DHCP server, I don't know what kind of DHCP server you're using, so I'll need a little bit more information. Anybody else that wants to ask questions, please, let's go ahead and open this up. I've got 27 of you on there. We got 22 thumbs up. I appreciate that. While we're looking for, yes, so I am digging more and more into MikroTik. I'm digging more and more into other wireless vendors. We've got some, I've got some Cambium. Cambium sent me some gear, and also Lego Wave sent me some access points. So we're going to be taking a look at those. And let's see. Windows DHCP. So that can be easy. Am I doubling down? Hold on real quick. I like the questions that are coming in. Edwin, please email me. And we can either, if you've seen my Windows Server 2016, I can do a video on that, or I can give you some pointers to get you through there. I can point you to some links. So please email me, Edwin, at willie@howx5.com, or go over to h5technology.com, fill out the contact form. All right. Somebody asked if I am doubling down on UBNT stock. I own 0 UBNT stock. I know a little bit about the markets, but not enough to kind of understand what the motivation of this person is that came out with this. I'm like a lot of you. I use Ubiquiti. I use other vendors though. As much as I love Ubiquiti and you could call me a fanboy, it's not appropriate for every use case. I mean, we have to understand the technology that we're using and what the limitations are. Ubiquiti is certainly making huge growth strides. So I'm just like the rest of you in this case. What I am doing is I am doubling down. I'm strapping in. I'm waiting for, I know Robert Para opened it up on Twitter for questions, but I am going to wait for an official announcement. So I'm not going to try to get the cart before the horse or any of these things. I think all of us need to just step back for a second and let Ubiquiti respond appropriately to this. My last comment about this, if you saw the Lawrence Systems, Tom Lawrence talking about if they're a fraud, well, they're doing something right, because we've got, physical gear in our hands, and, the support community is there, and are we, does the community help each other? Yeah, and I don't understand how somebody can't actually go and understand that, but if you were to email me and, I would help you out on a Lego Wave or a Cambium or VMware or anything, until we get into those billable type situations. So I guess I was rambling there. So the short and long of it is I'm going to wait for Ubiquiti to respond before I really put anything else out there. I got tagged, on some Twitter things about it, and I kind of knew what was going on, and I asked somebody to explain it to me like I was 5. I didn't really know where the guy, was coming from, and if you've ever heard of the $10, cheeseburger problem, you've got a perceived value problem, which is why, if you are doing IT consulting at $60 an hour, you need to really think about raising your rate. If you've got a good skill set, raise your rate, because if you've got a great skill set and you're only charging $60 an hour, then there's going to be, at some point, you're going to run into this perceived value problem. And that, it's always your network. It's always blah, 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 something you've set up because you're only charging $60 an hour. Trust me, I have a client, I've seen this. I raise my rates. Very little is ever my fault. In fact, I only get calls when the network goes completely down, and that's usually not me, it's Comcast. So, yeah, Rick Cote, we are talking about the Citron report. I don't know enough about markets and stuff. I don't know what this guy's motivation is. I'm going to wait for Ubiquiti to respond before I really say anything else about it. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. Will I produce other videos at my clients' facilities? Yes, there will be live stream from client facilities, client setups. Working on a couple of things right now for a really big Unify deployment. 27 site deployment, hundreds of pieces of gear. And so think we're going to make videos of that as well. Let's see. Open mesh. I'll tell you what, Jordan. I've used open mesh in the past. I think they make a decent product. If somebody wants to send me some open mesh, we will surely do a video on it. Even if open mesh wants to send me stuff. If anybody out there from open mesh is watching and you want to send me gear, I will do videos on it. Let's see. Oh, DJ Evergreen asked, did Cisco ever send you the Meraki gear? So we got to this negotiation point, and then I went on vacation in July. In July, we went to Nashville, Tennessee. You know, sometimes you got to do that. You got to, you know, work a lot. You know, I have my day job that I'm, you know, 50 to 55, 60 hours in there sometimes. And then, you know, taking calls on the weekends, working from home. But then I do the consulting after everybody goes to bed. You know, when your watch is like, you slept 5 hours, you rock star, you know, it might be time, you know, I said after I got out of the hospital that I was really going to reevaluate my life and start concentrating on things that are very important. And my family is one of those things. That's actually the most important thing. And so I'm starting to really get what I believe is a good model for the consulting and you know, my day job and this work-life balance that I need to have, and we're getting there. We're going to make this our own. We're forging through, and we're going to make it happen. So Meraki, it's so funny. So I have another customer who's a college out in California, and I have never touched, you know, Cisco used to be my bread and butter, but I've never touched a piece of Meraki gear ever until last night. They didn't want to swap out the Meraki firewalls for USGs, and that's fine. You know, they paid for these, they're licensed for a year, and I told them, I said, well, a VLAN's a VLAN's a VLAN, and it shouldn't be too difficult. The controller was really easy. The Meraki controller was really easy. Got in, made the VLANs, and he said, well, if you've never been in here before, you sure can't tell. And that's when you have when you have a really good base understanding of things. You know, you can look around and there might be terminology that's different, but you can start putting the pieces together quickly. So, you know, don't get just locked into the way one vendor does it. Get your hands on used equipment and check this out. You know, make things happen. Learn. Never stop learning. So that's why I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to do a tour of my little rack. But then I'm going to give you a tour. I actually have enough gear now. I'm splitting out my racks. I'm redoing them again. One will be all edge routers. One will be all Unify. And then the other one is all Extremes and Cisco and Dell. Alright. Let's see. Was I able to order a USG XG? Is that the thing that just went on beta? The big edge router? Let's see. Any ideas on why a VPN network won't start DHCP on a USG 3? Jeff, email me. I'm not 100% sure. Your question wasn't real clear there, but will you ever do a video on having a USG with an edge router on the inside? John, I don't know that I will. I don't know that I have a use case for that. If you've got something, fill out the form at h5technology.com or shoot me an email. Marcus says, can you make a video or go over VPN with static routes to block between two subnets? Marcus, I'm not 100% sure what you mean there, so you'll have to kind of open that up. Hey, Danny from Ghana. Let's see. Let's see. Willie, have you heard of anyone else trying to set up L2TP VPN on USG Pro 4 by using the GUI? I can't seem to get it to work on my iPhone or anything. Also can't seem to find an answer on the forum. So I'm assuming you're talking about the IPsec L2TP, and it should be the exact same way as a 3, I would think. So I've got the Pro over here. I can hook that up. We can do a video on that. Let me write that down. I've got I got my idea pad. And I don't know if you saw this. I love this pen. Rick and Morty pen. It's so awesome. I know you're not supposed to love things, but my family really thought long and hard when they got this for me for my birthday, and I really love it. So we're going to do USG Pro L2TP VPN. And we'll see if it's broken. I don't know if it's broken or not. By the way, if you want to get a chance to meet me in person and Chris from Crosstalk Solutions, we are going to be at Wispapalooza this year, the 12th and 13th. And there's a rumor that Tom Lawrence from Lawrence Tech may show up. He couldn't confirm at this point. He's got to see if it fits into his schedule. But definitely Chris and I are going to be out there in Vegas. It's at the Rio Hotel. So check that out. Let's see. Raspberry Pi VPN client recommendation. Oh, I don't know. Take a look at just do a quick Google search for Raspberry Pi VPN setup. There are some distros that are set up that have like PIA built into them, and then they create an access point, so then you can just connect to it and it encrypts all the traffic and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if that's what you mean. But check that out. That may suit your needs. I haven't. Dan Howell says I have an Edge Router X. I have a Synology on one network and TV on another. Is there a way to get DLNA multicast across the router? So if you've got an Edge Router X, you could. I've never set up DLNA on my own. I do have it working at a facility. It was a joint setup. But the way we've got it set up there, it's on the same subnet. So I may not be the best person to answer that. A quick Google search may turn something up. But why couldn't you just set up switch 0 and put everything in the same network? That would definitely take care of it. Let's see. Do you have an opinion on LastPass or other password managers? I do have an opinion on LastPass and other password managers. If you need a password manager, I do think that something like LastPass that's been battle tested is a better option than some of the other cloud-based services that don't have a real reputation. Now, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that the LastPass, this thing, it's walked through hell, and it's proven its worth. So, check it out. But LastPass, if I was going to use one, I don't store any of my passwords out there like that. If I was going to, I would probably use LastPass. Am I hiring? I am not hiring. Jeff Harris. Hey, Jeff, I see you commented here. Holy cow, I've never won anything other than worthless junk from a raffle before. No, Jeff, I believe that is you. I'm looking at your icon. I believe that is you. Thank you, Jeff, for participating. Thank you to everyone for participating. I'm so humbled every time I put a video out, even though I get thumbs down, and you put 5 IT guys in a room, you get 20 different ways to do something. I'm so humbled by everyone and everything. Thank you to everybody. Let's see. And looks like my people are commenting all over the internet. My watch is blowing up here. Let's see. Rodane Walters. Willie, can I work with you remotely? I need experience. So it depends, Rodane. I do training. I do. I can train you. We can do a customized training solution. Working with some guys down in Texas. They're recovering after the storm down there. And we built a Unify training class that goes above and beyond what you get from a Ubiquity certified trainer, which I am not. But it will actually touch USGs and switches and go into some network concepts above and beyond the wireless, which is currently taught in the Unify certification class. So I typically, I don't know, Rodane, email me. We'll have to see if we can get some one-offs where I can get you some real world experience. I know how difficult sometimes it can be to get that experience. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at and to be in some of the positions that I'm in. And I'm going to tell you, never stop learning and never stop asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, don't be afraid to email me. I can't tell you that I'm going to email back everybody because sometimes I just can't do it. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. Benjamin asks, what type of encryption does Unify site-to-site use? You'll have to dig through your settings. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Let's see. Somebody's saying that they manage a Meraki MX400 and 54 MR32 access points and a handful of switches. It is the easiest system that I have used ever compared to the old Juniper system. You know, I love Juniper. I can't even... Oh, man. I wish I had some Juniper for the lab. Does anybody have any Juniper they want to send me for the lab? I will get a gold nameplate, and put it next to the slot on the rack if you send me some Juniper gear for the lab. Oh, man. I broke my cherry in Cisco, in networking, and then there was Eastern Research, and Eastern Research was leaps above Cisco at the time because it was all a GUI-driven, even though it was text-based, it was all a GUI-driven system, but they had the integrated CSU DSU, and you do not know how much of a revolution that was. And these boxes were not very big. But then, we're Cisco, and of course everybody experiments with, Netgear and D-Link and all this TrendNet, this lower end stuff that works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but and then along comes Juniper, and Juniper blows my mind because they've got the config rollback command that if you don't commit the config, and actually Ubiquiti has this in the edge router, but if you didn't go in and confirm the configuration within a specified amount of time, the config would roll back. So if I'm working on a router, which I've had this happen, been in Peoria, Illinois, I'm working on a router in Louisville, Kentucky, and if somebody wouldn't have been on site with a config cable, we'd have been in trouble with Cisco. By the way, I don't know that you can call yourself a network guy if you've never accidentally taken down a connection like that. You're going to do stuff wrong, and you're going to learn from it. But anyway, Juniper would, it would roll that back. So now, if you've got the, Juniper J series router, which were fantastic routers, if you've got one of those down there and you don't, confirm that configuration, then it rolls back. So if you take the T1 down or whatever it was at the time, it would roll that config back. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. JuneOS beats iOS, Cisco iOS, hands down, every day of the week. Every day of the week. The configs are longer, but they're easier to read. They make more sense. They're nested just like the Edge OS product. Let's see. Tech in the City. See you there. Tech in the City. Are you going to Wispapalooza? Somebody says, I will be doing a Unify install tomorrow. USG, 16 150 watt, 4 AC Pros. Oh, this is AJ's. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just make you sound like you... It's AJ, not just someone. Do I have any advice on do's and don'ts for a home user? Yes. Do use a fully qualified domain name. Don't adopt to an IP address. That's got to be like my first rule at this point. I'm sure there's something else that should be higher priority, but I'm seeing a lot of this lately. So please adopt using fully qualified domain names, not IP addresses. If you need help, directions on how to get started in that, let me know. I may do an entire video on that. Let's see. Is it possible to have one SSID where all traffic goes to a VPN client and another SSID that acts as normal? Yes, it is. Ashton asked, hey Willie, do you mess with Unraid at all? I have not messed with it yet. I actually believe that I had it. I think I had it downloaded. And I haven't got to it yet. I've got several other systems. I am as much of an open source fan as I am, especially with like FreeNAS. Synology lately has been blowing my socks off, and I'm sure that there are storage guys that are watching this going, Synology. I'm telling you what, Synology's blowing my socks off with everything that they're coming out with. And from a day in, day out administration standpoint, they're killing it. Synology is on it. Synology, if you're watching, I love you. Send me gear for the lab. All right, I know, shameless plug. Let's see. Somebody said, do I have any ideas? Do I have any suggestions for intrusion detection and content filtering appliances for the edge router? So if you're looking at just purely doing a content filtering setup, I would go back through my videos and I would look at DNS filter, and I would force everything to go out through DNS filter. That should take care of you as far as content filtering goes. As far as IDS and IPS, I do have a solution for that, but I can't give away all the secret sauce in one video. So email me and I'll shoot you some tips on that, and we'll probably do a video on that, because it's pretty interesting the way that we can actually do it with an edge router and a USG. You know, a lot of people say that that's one of the shortcomings, but you know, the gear is priced low enough that I can buy a 1U server and still do IDS, IPS. And then if my IDS, IPS box fails, it's not in line. So we can talk about that later too. Somebody wants to know what the cost of the training is. It all depends on how many people are in the class. We're doing a 6-hour training. I don't really want to give the price away here, because it is, you know, depends on the amount of people. So shoot me an email and we'll talk about that. Any ideas for a monitor to display unified video cams 24/7 without a dedicated PC, keyboard, mouse? Check out the Ubiquity forum. Somebody has come up with a way to take a Raspberry Pi, throw a bunch of cameras up on a TV, and monitor it like a lot of these other places have, you know, like dedicated monitoring stations. So check that out. Hi, can you discuss how DNS options work with a USG VPN, auto versus manual? Off the top of my head, no. Shoot me an email. We'll do a video on it. Seriously, shoot that over to me. We'll do a video. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'd have to get into the GUI. And right now I'm kind of doing this kind of live thing, and you can't see my screen, so I want to try to give as much attention over here to other questions. But Steve Ludlow, email me, please. Yeah, Perotros commented and said that there's a Raspberry Pi project out there. Let's see. Phone's almost dead. Death Sun 10. This should be recorded, and you'll be able to watch it a little bit later. Would appreciate a thumbs up before you go. Somebody says, I have 70 old Juniper access points and a controller if you want. I would take like 2 access points. I don't need all 70. I don't want to be that guy. But I would take 2 and a controller. Yeah, just to play around with it. If you don't want it back, let me know. Jace, I appreciate that offer. Shoot me an email. We can talk about shipping options and details. Brad Buys says, I'm having Wi-Fi interference. Do you have a suggestion on software or hardware to do a site survey? So, I do. And you can come at this a couple different ways. You can spend thousands of dollars on site survey tools. And if you don't know how to use them, they're not going to do you any good. You could get 2 really inexpensive tools right now. You could buy an M5 and an M2, so some of the older Ubiquity gear, and they have the spectrum analyzer built into them. So you could fire that up and take a look at what's going on. There's another tool, and they actually talk about this in your Ubiquity training too, called NetSpot. And so anytime I'm working with anybody across the world, and we're doing a wireless site survey, I have them get NetSpot. I try to get them to load floor plans, and then they will do the walk around running NetSpot, and then send the results, and we talk about what we need to do. So NetSpot, and then if you want other hardware besides your laptop, check out, get you an M5 and an M2. And yeah, Jeff Gruber says, do a quick RF scan, pick your channels accordingly. However, you need to remember that in the 2.4 gigahertz, there's only 3 non-overlapping channels. So 1, 6, and 11. And that's if you're at a 20 megahertz channel bandwidth. If you go to a 40 megahertz, every channel overlaps, right? So, you know, take a look, see what your neighbors are doing. There's nothing worse than having 50 neighbors who all go to Best Buy, buy a Nighthawk or some other home router and plug it in, and everybody's on channel 6 and they're loud and screaming and it's ridiculous, and then you get disconnected from your online poker game and you were almost winning, and you know how that goes. Let's see. Yes, also manually select your channels for Unify and your power output. I usually start with my power on low and then step it up as I need it, but never at this juncture would I let the software do auto. Bad idea. Tech in the City. I'll see you then in Vegas. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff says that he loves his Synology DS1515 Plus. I love Synology. Check out, so for those of you that don't want to buy a Synology box to start with, but you want to see what all the hubbub is about, check out Exponology. You can fire up, you can download a free trial version of VMware Workstation, and out at the Exponology, what Exponology is they figured out how to make DSM, which is the secret sauce for Synology, run on non-Synology hardware. I don't know about the legality of it. I'm not a lawyer. But the site's still up. It hasn't been taken down. But anyway, check it out, because you can run this software and then you'll understand why once you run Synology, people get so excited about it. Alright, let's get some more questions here. Jordan says he's been playing with ViOS Viata. That's awesome. That's what your Edge router and your USGs are built off of. Let's see. Can you do a step-by-step video on customconfig.json file? Man, oh man, you guys are killing me with this. In my consulting, and even in my practice, like if you go look at any of the sites that I've done, and I know people are going to say, well, you're missing out on a lot. I don't use the JSON file because it's not exposed in the GUI, or there's not even a config tree that you can expand on the USG to see what I've done. So if I get hit by a bus and it's not properly documented, it can take somebody a long time, you know, to figure out what the heck is going on. So I know it's all over, you know, Ubiquiti employees. Those guys are top notch. You know, if they're telling you to do it and you're comfortable with it, but at this point, I don't know. I might do a video on it, but I'm going to tell you that I don't support it. It's one of those things. I mean, any client that I've done the build from scratch, they get documentation and stuff like that. A lot of times they get called in halfway through, so they get some documentation. But if you look where I build the full documentation, I will guarantee you, it is beautiful. And you know, the JSON file for me, it's just not part of that secret sauce right now. Let's see. Fabian Lowe, would it be possible to get a portal that allow the user create login and admin authorized? Okay, so here's something that's really cool. Tim Bear, if you have watched any of the videos where I introduce Tim and talk about Tim, he's my web guy, and he's my application guy too. And we've been getting into customizing guest portals way above and beyond what the Unify software allows you to do natively. He's customizing vouchers, and we are really digging into the API. So I actually want to do I have his artwork samples and everything. I need to do a video on it because we are doing some really cool stuff with that API. Let's see. I have an Edge router that has an IPsec site-to-site that shows up in the wizard, however it doesn't pass traffic. But if I restart the VPN tunnel, reestablishes. Okay, Robert, what version of Edge OS are you on now? If you're answering, it may take me a little longer to get to that, but you know, there have been a few hot fixes released lately. So 1.9.7 came out, and there were some VPN issues. So then 1.9.7 hotfix 1 came out, fixed the VPN issues. Awesome. Introduced some regression. We are waiting on hotfix, I believe, 4 to come out. So there could be something going on. So check the forum, sign up for beta access if you don't have it on Edge Max, and make sure you're keeping your eyes peeled, because I appreciate the people who send me a heads up, because there's so much to all of the product lines that it used to be that I could always keep up, and I would always, you know, and there's just so much going on with work and consulting and the family and everything. I just don't keep up the way that I used to. I'm still on top of it, but like, unless I'm watching for it, it'll probably take me a few days to get there. So like, where I may have known like, hey, hotfix 4 is released right now, I may not know till the weekend. So I appreciate when you guys keep me up to date on that, and we work together. So, but you know, these funny VPN problems, you know, try different version of code and see what happens. Josh says, Willie, appreciate the time you put in the videos. They've been a great learning tool for me. Thanks. Wondering if you could do something on UBNT gear and setting up OSPF, LDP, VPLS. Thanks again. As a matter of fact, I am going to be doing some OSPF videos. So that's coming soon. OSPF, one of my clients in Utah, and I don't know if he's watching tonight. Steven, if you're watching, thanks for being there, buddy. He's an ISP. He's getting into fiber. We're designing a lot of great solutions. Hoping to be able to spend some time with him later this year and get some big projects knocked out for him. Let's see, Jeff. If you would like to send me that Meraki MR18, I would love to put it in the lab. We can do side-by-side comparisons of the Meraki and the Ubiquity. That's really what I wanted to do. So, you know, some of this other gear that I'm going to introduce you to, you know, all these vendors are doing things a little bit differently. And while Ubiquity has my heart, I know that sounds so weird. I would be doing you, who've come to my channel to learn about technology and networking, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you some of these other manufacturers and show you kind of where their niche is, what they're good at, you know. So we're going to get into some of that. Let's see. I have a Iron Mike says I have a Synology RT2600 AC and an Edge Router Pro. Which would you deploy for home? My home. I'm going to tell you right now. The Synology RT2600 AC came out. I lit up the sales email over at Synology. I didn't really light it up. I wrote them once. And they never wrote me back. But I thought, nah, I got a YouTube channel. I got to, you know, people want to see this, right? Because why I'm excited about that is they are building it off of the same kind of idea that they have for the Synology. And if you've got Synologies, you know you can manage all of your Synologies from one place now, right? Well, since this RT2600 AC is software driven, I can see where they could start doing mesh. They could start doing, these things would be aware of each other. So now you can start using them like a unified system. I see big things in store for Synology if they do it properly. I would deploy the RT2600 here and definitely play around with it. I would love to have one to do videos on. Hey, Hugo, Wisteria Moon. Hi, Wisteria Moon. You're not Masta Moon, you're Wisteria Moon. Before I get to these, before I get to some of these other questions, I want to show you something, and I got to scroll up as I'm watching this. I got to show you this. So, I don't know how many of you remember my Angry Cloud drawings, but they're coming back. You know, it gets a little colder, things will slow down a little bit, but I work with a lady who builds costumes, and so what this is this is the what is going to be the base of Angry Cloud. I'm going to have an actual Angry Cloud that I'm going to be able to wear with a suit and like do promotional materials and all kinds of stuff. But this sloth, this is going to be the building base, and she's going to let me know. Can you guys hear me with this on? Let me see. Can you hear me with this on? Anyway, I'm going to do Angry Cloud videos, but she's going to transform this sloth to into Angry Cloud, and I think that that's going to be absolutely awesome. Should I finish the please always wear the sloth head? This is so lit. Don't we wish? All right, so I'll wear the sloth head for a little bit longer. Maybe I need to buy a second sloth head and always answer my Q&As in a sloth head. Let's see. I purchased my, this is Fabian. I just purchased my Edge, and I want to know, does it do policy-based routing? Yes, you can do policy-based routing. We need to do some videos on that. Hugo wants to know, how are you doing with FreePBX 14? Hugo, I am doing awesome with FreePBX 14. I have a Lenny box up. Unfortunately, Illinois is a two-party state, technically, so I can't, I can't really use it. But I got Lenny up and going. I'm learning the system. It won't be long. I'll be deploying phone systems. I don't know if I'll do any videos on them, just because that's kind of Chris's thing. But I'm definitely looking to help him support those systems and support systems that I'm going to sell. Let's see. I need help with my Unify system. The wired network drops speed all the time. Any ideas? Or could I hire you to remote in and take a look? This is Ben Hartwig. First thing you want to do, Ben, make sure all of your hardware is up to date. And then, man, this thing is getting hot. Then you're going to want to check your cabling. Check all of your cabling. Check the drivers on whatever devices are dropping that speed. And then if that doesn't, if you don't fix it in that combination of things, I got to take this off, guys. Sorry. So the Angry Cloud videos really are going to be freaking angry because this thing gets hot. So I can only imagine when I'm in there preaching about the evils of the cloud, how worked up I'm going to get. Then, if your cabling and all your drivers and everything are up to snuff and you're still having the problem, let me know. We'll see what we can do. I've got a box I can send you. We can take a look at your network. Let's see. Jace says, I love Ubiquity gear, but if the client has the money, I'm Meraki all the way. You can't beat their amazing customer support and reliability. Okay, so let's address that. Ubiquity has awesome products, and I can buy 5 USGs for the price of 1 firewall. Or I can buy 1 firewall and hire Willie Howe to be my support, and I can guarantee you my support is better than Cisco. I'm not saying anything derogatory, but the way I approach my customers and the way that I support people is going to be way better than when you call TAC. I'm just saying. Yes, we all need more Angry Cloud. Aaron says, do you ever cup your hand over your butt, then fart and sniff it up really fast? Not since I'm like 6. Brad, what is your opinion on airtime fairness and band steering? Well, they hit it in the GUI, didn't they? They hit it in the GUI. But band steering, your device is supposed to be smart enough, to be able to select, 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. Are they? I don't know, because I will tell you that in the same room I will see, 2 iPhones. One of them might connect 2.4 and one might connect 5. Why? I don't know. I'm not diagnosing what's going on in the air. But there are still people, and I have recommended this recently, if you are really concerned about that, in your SSID, make your 5 gigahertz SSID have a 5. Now Josh Kwok from Streetwave is probably going, no! But, you know, name your SSIDs. The 2.4, put a 2 in it, put a 5. You shouldn't have to do that, but if you want that reliability, do it. Let's see. I'm seeing lots of no's and yeses. I must have some sort of a question. Oh, yeah. Please wear the sloth head. Oh, we slid backwards. Sorry about that. Yes, Jeff, it was really hot in there. Sleuth, that's awesome. So some of the messages you guys are sending me, YouTube is blocking them. So if it's something you really want me to know, you may have to email me. Your face looks like you're hot. Yes, Dennis, it was hot in there. So you can imagine, like I said, how pointed and pissed off my Angry Cloud videos are going to be. Can you send a sloth mask to me? No, I'm sorry. I cannot send you the sloth mask. Hey, Hector. Let's see. You need to spend a lot of money with... This is Jeff saying... Jeff Gruber. You need to spend a lot of money with Meraki to get amazing support. I work on K-12, and across my district we have over 500. That's a lot of WAPs, man. 500 WAPs. So... Jace asked, do you have monitor remote capability to any of the networks you install? If so, what do you use? So I have 3 ways that I go about this. 1, Unify. Well, and I guess actually that's split. So you can, if I have it with Unify, I can see what's going on, do some troubleshooting, and then very easily on the fly set up an L2TP IPsec VPN. If I have the client's permission to VPN, some clients don't allow VPN for security protocols. Some clients I still have to drive there, but you know, here is Raspberry Pi 0W, but the 2 and the 3, I have them configured so that they create a persistent reverse SSH tunnel, and then I can SSH use an SSH proxy back into the network. And I also have, let's see if it's in here. I also use land turtles, and you can do the exact same thing with this. And this is a very discreet device, and I think it's about 40 bucks. It's made by Hack5. It looks like a. I set one of these up. If you look at one of the videos, I set one of these up, but you just plug Ethernet in and give it power, and you can set this guy up to do a basically call home. You're creating a command and control server for SSH, and works beautifully. So if you have need to set something like that up and you've got your client's permission, contact me either by email or fill out the form over at H5 Technology, and we can talk about getting this set up for you. So I want to talk about a couple other things. Let's answer some more questions. My email is willie@howx5.com. Let's see. Is Amplify really that great? I work at a wireline ISP and we have about 1,500 air routers deployed, looking for an all-in-one replacement, but Amplify is so expensive compared to the air router. Amplify is not the air router. Check out the AirCube. If you're in the beta program over at Ubiquity, go to the beta store, check out the AirCube. That's going to be what you want. Don't think Amplify is what you're looking for. That was for Perotros. Hugo says, did you notice the new Unify router that looks like the Edge router Infinity? So, if you're, yeah, I did notice that it kind of looks the same, and I would expect that because if you read the forum, Edge OS usually has the features first, and then they go into Unify. So, and I believe that Chris over at Ubiquity, I believe they have the latest version of Unify is up to like 1.9.7 from EdgeOS. That may not be right. But yeah, no, Hugo, they are definitely very closely related. So think of it as Cisco and Meraki. So your Edge line would be what we think of as traditional Cisco, and then Unify would be Meraki. By the way, Meraki has a topology view, and if you've not seen the Meraki topology view, do some Google searches for that, and then take a look at the Unify topology view. They're very... I thought for a second, I was like, oh, did I log into Unify? Like, I was like trying to figure that out. So I think Meraki has probably been spying on what's going on over at Ubiquiti, if I had to guess. I don't know. I'm not pointing any fingers. So let's see. Do we have any more questions? Has anybody emailed? Let's check that out. Oh, a lot of emails here. Oh, I got mentioned on Facebook. By the way, I want to talk about that. So I get Facebook requests. If I don't accept your friend requests on Facebook, don't be offended, because I don't accept many friend requests on Facebook at all, just because Facebook is my primary way to communicate with people who are basically family. So don't be offended by that. It's not you, it's everybody. Let's see. Are there any more questions before I get to what's in the box? I guess I better see too what I was tagged in real quick, and maybe it'll give us some fodder for conversation. Let's see. Oh, somebody tagging me. So I have a friend that owns a Ubiquiti distributorship in Australia. His name is Benjamin, and he has tagged me in. He posted a webinar on the. He did a webinar on the latest Ubiquiti products, software, and training updates, and he tagged me in it. So I will, at some point, I'll have to watch that, and then I guess I'll have to talk to him about that. That's pretty neat, right? Oh, wow. Hey, Robert Schwinger. Robert Schwinger, are you still on the... Robert Schwinger, thank you. Robert Schwinger just donated $5 to me via PayPal. Thank you, Robert. I really am. I am so humbled by you guys. And my whole life is out here basically for you guys, and I take the good with the bad. Everybody on the internet's an expert, but for the most part, you guys are really cool. You know what I'm gonna do? Also, since we're on the live stream, oh yeah, check it out. Synology was playing around, bought this bad boy on eBay, but did not pay new prices. I don't get auction fever. But I've got my Ubiquiti phone back here in the back, and right now it was on Do Not Disturb. But I'm taking it. If you have the test phone number and you want to be live on YouTube, I just took the phone off of Do Not Disturb. So if you want to give me a buzz and we're still talking, I will answer that. Let's see. Jay says that he received a call one day from Cisco asking questions about the use of Ubiquiti gear and how it differs from Meraki. They gave him an MR33 in return. That is amazing. They should call me, and I'll tell them. Let's see. How is the HP microserver that you installed in the live stream holding up? Hasn't hiccuped once, Hugo. Still running. The Synology replications are still running. Everything's running great. Jordan, are more videos coming? Jordan, not sure which videos you're referring to, but there's always going to be more videos coming. So I'm still waiting for, so Jeff Harris has reached out to me. Masta Moon has not yet. I've seen Masta Moon somewhere. I feel like I'm in a, some sort of I think a Discord server with Masta Moon. Yeah, so Masta, though, if you're seeing this, please email me. Let's go back to the questions here. So you guys, yeah, Cisco's like, they're not calling me, but I'm also not a user. I let all my certifications lapse. And so maybe that's why they're not calling me, because I'm not a user. So I'm going to be doing a dedicated video on these, but I wanted to crack this open and show you some physical security devices that I've got. Now, these are called USB locks, and what they are is the only way to effectively, if you've watched any security videos in the last year, the only way to block some attacks on USB is to I'm trying to think of there's a security guy that basically said put concrete in your USB port. He's almost right. So this is the next best thing next to concrete. It's a little plastic fob that goes into your USB port and locks in, and to get it out you have to use this little tool. So we're going to be doing videos on these. RJLockdown.com. They've also got some where we can lock Ethernet cables into place in the switch, in the wall. I'm going to be doing videos on these. RJLockdown.com, they were good enough to send me samples of these, so I really appreciate that. So this video is coming for sure. I'm hoping to get it done this weekend, but it'll definitely be out next week. And then Rack Studs had initially sent me a sample, but now they've sent me a couple big bags of these Rack Studs. And so I'm going to be traveling around as time permits. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to, I'm going to start with my friends that are close, all my friends that are network admins that have racks that use cage nuts. And I'm going to give them 4 of these, and I'm going to use the same device for live streaming from. I'm going to be recording them, their first thoughts, impressions on these, and installing a switch into their racks. And I'm going to leave, 4 of these with them because I believe it'll be mind blown, game over, and they're going to be sold on these. I'm going to tell you what, if you've never used Rack Studs, they are amazing. Amazing. Monty was able to install the Rack Studs and put an edge switch in less than 30 seconds. So I've got some video, got to get it edited up so you guys can see it. And it's going to be absolutely awesome. Let's go back to the questions. AJ, I am on Discord. There is an unofficial Ubiquity Discord channel, and I am on there. Yeah, the USB port blockers are really cool because I don't know if any of you know what a rubber ducky is, but a rubber ducky is a device. Computers inherently trust keyboards. It emulates a keyboard. You plug it in, it executes a payload, and I can do anything from stealing your passwords to pulling pictures off and FTPing them or SCPing them, or I can put stuff on your machine. I mean, it's basically like I'm sitting there if I've got it programmed. So one of the effective ways to block those devices is a physical lock. So yeah, all of these devices here, we'll look at these real quick. So yeah, this one is the patch cord lock. This one I'm really excited about. Yeah, Jordan, the Bash Bunny. I've got one of those Bash Bunnies sitting right here. I think Hack 5 makes really awesome tools. So here are the USB, here are the lockdowns, so we're going to get to those. And then once again, I want to thank RJLockdown.com for sending those to me. Something that, security is more than just, making sure you've got a strong password. There's a physical aspect to it, too. And this is an RJ45 jack lock. This one is a lot different than what you may have seen from like a pad jack. I use pad jacks now. I sent them a request saying, hey, I use these at work and I'd like to get a sample to show my viewers, and they never responded. So RJLockdown.com responded. Thank you, RJLockdown.com, if you're watching this. The video is coming soon, but you actually put this into the RJ45, into the jack, and you lock the jack down physically. We've got some more of the USB lockdowns. We got them in red and black here, so these are pretty cool. And then this is the patch cord lockdown. Once again, I appreciate the folks over at RJ Lockdown sending these to me. And I think you're really going to enjoy this, and you're going to be able to really see how you can use these in your enterprise, even your home. Jace, thanks again for all the videos. When I got into Ubiquity Gear, you and Chris were my lifeline. I appreciate that, and I get emails all the time, people letting me know, that I've helped them in their consulting, or I've helped them do this, or I've helped them do that. And I really appreciate that, That's awesome. I'm glad that I'm able to help you guys and gals. Even though, according to my analytics, less than 1% of my viewership is are ladies. So, we need more women in tech. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, we need more women in tech. Hugo says, I'm also doing a test with vSphere with Synology and iSCSI for HA and vMotion, and the VAI acceleration on the Synology box rocks. I just deployed a Synology rack station yesterday. It's got four 2 terabyte drives in a RAID 6, and we are using it for it's set up with iSCSI to VMware, and all it is all of our Linux web servers are going to go on that guy, and I love it. It's awesome. Let's see. So, if there aren't any more questions, I think, remember, please, give me a thumbs up here. Make sure you're subscribing, sharing the channel, stuff like that. If there are no more questions, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. There'll be more videos. It's hard to get them out on a consistent basis sometimes, but I'm getting them out as I can. So, once again, thank you to everyone. I'm looking forward to the next giveaway. That'll be 14,000. And then at 15,000, we're going to shoot my phone at 15,000. And I don't know if we'll get the liquid nitrogen. I want to get the liquid nitrogen, but I don't know if we're going to get it. But, everybody, thank you. Once again, I'm truly humbled, and I never thought I'd have one subscriber, and here we are. Over 13,000, on our way to 14,000. Will we ever get to 100,000? I don't know. But I'm having fun doing this, and I appreciate everything that everyone does for me. Please give me a thumbs up. Please comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And, I'll see you in the next video.